You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show Crosstalk. I'm your host, Scarlett Simpson. Each week in this time slot, we take a look at different issues, personalities, and events that affect you and our community. Memphis has been a hotspot for new music ever since the 1920s, when Beale Street first started to gain fame. Since then, countless artists such as Elvis Presley, Al Green, and Justin Timberlake have gone on to become huge names in the music industry. Today, we'll listen to some of the newest sounds in the Memphis music scene and talk with the talented performers who create their own sound. Sporting a soulful sound that features hints of the lead singer's Creole roots, Marcella and Her Lovers has already made local headlines by being recognized by the Memphis Hall of Fame and the Memphis Flyer. Here with us now to talk about her band and their original style of music is lead singer Marcella Renee Simeon. Marcella, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Hey, of course. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk about how you originally created the band and the story behind you and your lovers joining.
Well, I originally am from Lafayette, Louisiana, and moved here to go to Memphis College of Art about 8 years ago. And while I was in school studying, I started playing music by myself around town. I played this traditional style Creole accordion and would incorporate some of the Creole French language into my songs, and then just started to meet people around town and started a band, and then we came to be. Yeah.
Well, you did mention that you are originally from Louisiana. Yeah. What made you want to move to Memphis?
Well, it's just a great city. I mean, it's hard not to be attracted to the vibe here and the history, of course. I mean, everyone has preserved the culture and the rich, musical legacy that's here. It's undeniable with Stax and High Records and Sun Studios, and you feel that energy in the city and you kind of feed off of it as a creator.
Well, being from Louisiana, you have a very rich Creole family heritage. Can you talk about how that shows through your music?
Yeah, I mean, I try to use it as much as I can. It's hard not to because it's a part of me. I use the language. I use the, some of the styles of Zydeco music that I watched my dad do growing up in my family, and it tends to blend well with the soul music that we, make with our band. So.
Well, can you describe what your lyrical processes are like?
Writing songs is a process. Every song is different, and you just it kind of just depends on the content, what you're going through, and the music, and you just kind of this would be a long, drawn out answer, so I'm gonna keep it short and just say that it's it's a process.
Well, we actually have one of your performances to show the audience what your sound is really like.
Cool.
Let's take a look.
My heart is on fire, burning just for you, 'cause I know that your loving is true. You treat me so mean, but I can plainly see that you were only meant for me. Because I love you, and I
That was so great.
Thanks.
Well, who would you say inspires you the most, both artistically and musically?
That's tough. Right now I'm listening to a lot of old hip hop and Nina Simone is really just a constant for me, Nina Simone, Donny Hathaway, old soul,
Well, your dad is an accomplished two-time Grammy award-winning artist, which is quite the feat. Would you say that he inspired you to get into music?
Yeah, they didn't necessarily force it on me or encourage me because they know, like early on, they wanted me to go to school, go to college, and get a degree and everything, and I did that. And they know how difficult it can be, having a career in music, but also the rewards are, many if you just work hard. So I learned my work ethic and, definitely was inspired by my father and his approach to the business and creating.
Well, we spoke about how your Louisiana background had inspired your music, but how has Memphis inspired your music?
Oh man, it's really made me the artist that I am. I moved here when I was 18, and I didn't know what my voice was until I lived here. And my time here, my experience here, absorbing, taking in everything, that the city has to offer, and it's really made me who I am, for sure.
Well, Marcella, thank you so much for being on the show today and for talking about your music.
Awesome, thank you.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, we'll hear from a Memphis indie group whose music has reached everywhere, from local television commercials to popular YouTube videos. Please stay with us.
Art program here integrates all the disciplines.
Teachers and the students have a very close connection with one another, and that's how we work and communicate.
It's completely creative that they get to essentially design their own lessons.
I think it's great to be a part of this program because you get to have a very close relationship with your teachers as well as your peers.
Making art is self-discovery, and the world without art is a world without heart.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. In 2012, I Can't Wait by Star and Micey made a splash on the airwaves. Since then, the band has had many success stories, including a feature in national and local commercials. Let's take a listen.
I had you on the telephone, said you won't be coming home. Heard you had to leave the state, said you won't be back someday. Well, now I can't wait. No, I think you should stay. No, said you might be coming home. I know you had to leave the state. Now you're coming back someday.
Here to talk about Star and Micey's rise is founding member Jeff Smith. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Honored to be here.
So tell us, how did Star and Micey get started, and what's the story behind the name?
Well, Star and Micey formed as soon as me and Josh Cosby got out of high school. So we were just two guys in a trailer in Atoka, Tennessee, writing these crazy pop songs, and through circumstances we were able to form this little band and kind of make a name for ourselves in the Memphis music scene, which is a very hard scene to break into. The name derives from this really cool story. I always love telling it. So Josh used to work at a Starbucks that was downtown, and the Peabody place is no longer there. So he was coming home one night, it was like midnight, and he lived right across the street from where Minglewood Hall is now. And you know, you get that at 12 at night, it's like the last thing you want to hear is somebody going, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me," because you know, midtown, downtown, you have bums, homeless people always asking you for something or another. So Josh, being the person that he is, very kind-hearted, lovable person, he stops what he's doing and he turns around and goes, "What's going on, man?" It was this guy who was asking, "Hey, sir." It's like, "Hey, I saw that, I don't mean to bother you, but I saw that you had a guitar on your back, and I was wondering if you could play me a song." And this was a very odd request to get from somebody like this gentleman. So Josh was like, okay. He took out his guitar and played him a song that he had just written. It was a song called "Late at Night," which is featured on our very first record that we cut at Ardent Studios in Midtown. And the guy was really touched. He's like, "Oh man, I love that song. It's great." It's like, "Well, now that you sang me a song, I want to sing you a song." And Josh was like, "Okay." It's like, so he starts singing this song to Josh a cappella. And halfway through the song, Josh started recognizing the song. It started sounding familiar, and the guy stopped. He's like, "Hey man, just want to let you know, like halfway through the song, I just started singing a Prince song." And they both started laughing. And Josh introduced himself. "Well, man, my name is Josh Cosby." And the guy was like, "Well, nice to meet you, Josh. Well, my name is Jonathan, but on the streets, we all have street names, and my name is Star. And the song that I was singing to you was about my ex-fiance, Micey." And Josh was like, "Star and Micey, Star and Micey." He's like, that's such a very odd, group of names. So before they parted ways, at the time we were looking for a band name, and Josh, asked Star. It's like, "Hey, do you mind if I use your names as my band name?" And Star freaked out. He's like, "You're gonna write a song about me?" It's like, "No, I want to use your name as a band name." And he just freaked out. He was so elated. So over the years, Jonathan or Star, he's still around. He still floats around Midtown, and if we're playing a show, he'll hang out outside and be like, "I'm Star from Star and Micey." And I think he makes more money off of his name than we do off of his name. So people are just like, "Oh man, just give him $20, $30. So that's where that name comes from. We call it a homeless love tragedy. It's the name of two homeless people in Midtown Memphis. So that's where the name comes from.
Well, how would you describe your genre of music?
Star and Micey, we always call it poor folk music, like po-folk. But it's derived from, a lot of influences we have from Memphis music, everywhere from Sun Studio to Stax to High Records, American Sound. I mean, a lot of Memphis music is kind of ingrained into our souls and into our music. But it's mostly just rock and roll, soul, pop. We all grew up loving the Beatles, Hank Williams Sr., Otis Redding, Sam and Dave, and even like Radiohead, and dare I say like Linkin Park and Deftones kind of drifted in there a little bit. But so that's where kind of our genre lies. It's always changing. We have all four of us sing. We have two lead singers, Josh Cosby and Nick Redmond, but we all trade vocal harmonies and parts throughout songs. So it's kind of like this very Beatle-esque kind of concoction that we've made for ourselves, even though, we're just a little bit more of the poor aspect of the Beatles. So I think that's a good explanation of our genre, I guess. So yeah, that's what we sound like.
Well, what do you see in the future for your band?
Well, what I see is hopefully, we stay together as a band. We've been going at it for 10 years now, 12 years. And we have done everything. We've been signed to 2 record labels, one here in town, one in Nashville. We have toured all over North America. We've played hundreds and hundreds of shows, big and small. We have opened up for the biggest. We have opened up for the Black Keys, Dawes, Shovels and Rope. I mean, the Lumineers, you name it. So as of right now, we're just trying to kind of just gather what we need to do, because now that we are free agents, what we need to do now is kind of decide, you know, how do we want to go about recording our next record on our own, financing it ourselves, and releasing it ourselves, because now that no one owns our music, you know, as far as from here on out, we can do whatever we want with it. So that's where we're at right now, still playing locally, making a new record, releasing it to the world, and seeing where it goes from there.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today and for sharing your story.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, we will hear from a descendant of Memphis music royalty who is creating his own artistic image. Stay tuned.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. Memphis's own Royal Studios is known throughout the music industry for producing great music and artists. A new artist is emerging from the famous studio, and he happens to be related to the studio's founder. Here to give us insight on his developing musical career is Uriah. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll talk about your inspirations. What or who drew you to pursue music?
Well, it was really my great-grandfather, Willie Mitchell. After he passed away, I kind of felt like I needed to, you know, like just help keep his legacy alive. So I just started started making tracks and started doing music when I was like 14.
Well, you are a rapper. What drew you to rap?
Well, I always liked writing a lot, and I didn't know how to deliver it, so I would just kind of say it, and then I would just notice that I would just, you know, start rapping, and just that's really what it was.
They say you write about what you know. Can you talk about some of the reoccurring themes in your lyrics?
Well, like the track "Can't Help Myself," my single, that is really a love song, and it's like feelings and emotions is really what draws me to write in the first place. So when I feel something, I have to write about it, and it turned it into a song. So.
Well, how has Memphis influenced who you are as an artist?
Well, Memphis really, it influenced me a lot because a lot of great music was done here. So it's like when I started, I could just my growth and development of music, it started when I just noticed all the music that was just in the air. Like if you walk on Beale Street, it's music is everywhere in this city, in particular. So it just really just hit me. So.
Well, you are a part of a well-known family. Boo Mitchell of Royal Studios is your dad, and you work with him. What is that dynamic like?
It keeps our relationship interesting because he doesn't always feel like a dad. Sometimes he feels like a friend, but he teaches me and stuff, so it does feel like a dad at the same time. But it's just our minds really think alike, so it's really easy for us to create music together, engineer music together. So, yeah.
In this high-tech digital era, SoundCloud rappers are trying really hard to get their music heard. How are you getting your music out?
Well, like you said, SoundCloud, we just started a record label, so that is kind of gonna, help with the publicity and all of that. So, but for other people, you know, SoundCloud is good, like iTunes and all of that. So,
what makes your music different?
Well, it started off not so different. Like I was just rapping until I, you know, figured out that I could sing a little bit. So I just started pursuing kind of like pop. And I know a lot of, you know, artists like me are not really doing that in this city. It's mostly like rap or R&B or blues, and we don't really have a big pop scene here.
What would you say to someone who wants to become involved in the music industry?
I would say that it's a tough industry to, you know, get involved with, because everything doesn't always go how it may look, and like the inside is difficult because, you know, nothing is ever guaranteed. So, but you just have to just kind of, you know, just have faith, and if you really want to do it, then pursue it, you know, with everything you got.
Well, Uriah, thank you for being on the show and for talking about your music.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Here now, performing Can't Help Myself, is Uriah.
Oh, tell me why? Girl, you looking so fly. I just wanna get you high. You got me saying, oh my. You don't have to go home, we can stay right here. Yeah. You don't have to be alone, baby, I'm right here. Yeah. I know you feel something. Yeah. I know you can get it jumping. Yeah. I know you feel something. Yeah. I know you can get it jumping. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? Love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? Baby, I ain't tryna leave here without you. I'm tryna go and tell my friends all about you. Just say the word, baby girl, you know I got you. Ain't thinking about these other girls, cause they not you. Girl, I know this what you wanted. You ain't gotta talk about it, baby, just show me. All in my head, baby girl, I can't focus. I took your heart and put it together when it was broken. I know you feel something. Eh. I know you can get it jumping. Eh. I know you feel something. Eh. I know you can get it jumping. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? Can't help myself, girl, I'm in love. Can't help myself, girl, I'm in love. Can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? I'm in love. I can't help myself, girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself, girl, I'm in love. Can't help myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You get me in love just like what? Love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. I can't help myself. Girl, I'm in love. myself. Ay, I know, girl, I know. You got me in love just like whoa. Ay.
I'd like to thank all my guests for sharing their music and experiences as performers in the community. Clearly, Memphis has a musical ambiance unlike any other city and an abundance of talented performers on the rise. Remember, Crosstalk can be seen each week at 9:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 a.m. and 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Sundays. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we are streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Scarlett Simpson. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.